For the rest of the show, I'll be joined by a public affairs analyst, Mr. Chibuzor Okereke. Great to have you today.
Thank you. Good evening.
Good evening. And so you've heard all the reports that have been released today. Let's start with the one on from the World Bank on our currency. And you also listen into what the first guest said. What are your thoughts?
Well, I think we've been facing the challenge, and I agree with the first guest absolutely, because the Naira appreciation or depreciation is a function of something, and that element is called productivity. If productivity is not happening in your system, then it's difficult for your currency to gain any value. The currency itself is an abstract. The value that it has is based on the productivity index of the country, either for export or even for local consumption that can satisfy the people. But I see a very big challenge in the way we are going, as a country. We have to begin to look at alternative systems of assessment and also interrogation of our own policies and how we view, World Bank report or anything. Because on one hand, the World Bank is the key economic advisor of Nigeria economy in the last how many years, and each time they release this sort of report, there are empirical elements of facts in them, but also we have to look at policy alignment with the kind of report they release and the kind of economic advisory we receive from them, and try to have a balance.
And that's one of the reasons why I asked our first get the question. So we have all these advisors over all these years. Mostly it hasn't really worked. More than 50 years of development measures across African countries. Yet when you assess the entire continent, it's like not much has changed. I mean, there is progress. There is. It's not uniform.
Yeah.
There are measures of progress here and there, but as a whole, there needs to be a rethinking and reimagining of what is actually going on.
Yeah, absolutely. And when they have realized that we are not sincere to ourselves. For instance, we talk about World Food Day, and how many governors did you see commemorating World Food Day? I mean, are the citizens of the state angels who don't eat food? So our perception and governance thinking that probably certain things are for federal government, they are the one who received the intervention. And what about the local government? Did you see any commemorative event led by any local government chairman or officials? Because they know when Agricultural Food Producers Association or whatever name that has just been mentioned claims to you that there are 40 million members. And these are the kind of things that worry me. 40 million to 230 million is one farmer to 5 citizens, if you do the arithmetic. If that is what we have in Nigeria, we won't be talking about food insecurity, hunger, starvation, and malnutrition. So we have to be honest, so that we don't carry our political party management system into professional, and development bodies that should help drive development for the country. How many, empirically speaking, are the farmers in Nigeria? In terms of category, what are their categories? How many are in the mechanized level? How many are in the middle class level? How many are peasant farmers? What kind of support do they receive? When we receive all this intervention from Russia, World Bank, NGOs, African Development Bank, how does it trickle down to the farmers in the local council? Or has it been hijacked by an elite class of professional, farmers who don't want us to make, progress? And that is the issue.
So what you're implying essentially is that 40 million, a lot of them are probably not actual farmers.
It doesn't exist.
Not active.
I challenge them to publish that 40 million tomorrow on the dailies. There will be people to sponsor it, state by state, how we have 40 million farmers. This is the biggest challenge, because if you don't even know the factors of production you have, you can't be able to coordinate it, and then you cannot know the productivity level to achieve. And like the first guest mentioned, it's not about federal government, for Christ's sake. Nigerians are not living in federal government estates. We are living across the local government and states. So if we are doing World Food Day, there should have been a policy agenda from local government to state today saying this is the step we want to take. In the next 6 months to 1 year or 2 years, this is the productivity level we want to achieve. Who are the real agriculturalists within our domain? What kind of support do they need so that you can channel it? Make no mistake about this. There's no country anywhere in the world, whether as a supranational body or a developed country, who want to help you achieve food security. They don't exist because there is a factor of production there. There is exchange payment, there is international diplomacy around. There is superiority and competitive contest. Everybody wants to survive. And if they can use you to survive, then, you are the one that is at fault.
That's a very good point. And you have, pointed out all the development agencies. He also, the farmer, also talked about the support they get both from government here and from agencies abroad. Let's interrogate development aid. To be or not to be, because it looks like it's part of the problem, dependency.
Yeah, absolutely. And a lot of theories have been put forward in both in the political science and development sector, wherever modernization, development theory, and what have you. But you see, anybody, even in the Bible, the one who gives is the one that receives the blessing and not the one who receives. So if you have positioned yourself to be an aid-dependent country, it's going to even kill your initiative, creativity, and innovation, because somehow you want to place yourself in a position of sympathy requiring support. So you are not able to go on and drive creativity to a large, productivity to a large scale. And this is the challenge that we face. So I don't blame anybody who has gathered the resources to come and offer aid. It's the right thing to do as to show of humanity. It is the application of that aid. When they mention, the first guest talked about, make basic education constitutional matter, make budget 20%. Sometimes I laugh when those are not the issues.
Right.
The budget that we have been providing for several sectors, how have we interrogated even release of fund and utilization? This is the issue. Who are the human beings that will use the 20% when we...
But it's not just one measure or one policy. You have to do different things at the same time.
You have to do different things.
Yes.
However, I agree with him completely that we don't have to make Nigeria look like a federal government affairs. It's not supposed to be so. Even the primary basic education is not even in the federal government exclusive list. It's right there at the local government and state level. So this is very, central. So when aids are offered, application, I think that we need to go back to rework the family setting. We have to have our national values right, reorientation, and like he mentioned, governance dynamics need to be understood by those who occupy public office. What do you want to be remembered for? Right. Is very central. If we can do that in the First Republic, people built refineries, built airports. Why are we not able to do it today? Without, the kind of loan we are taking today. That is the biggest challenge that we face.
So it looks like the education has to be both sides, the people that are being governed and the people that are governing.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
In a few seconds.
Yeah, who has the report of those 20 million people that are out of school? Yeah. We have to make data a big issue, and our data must be empirical and factual if we want to drive development.
Okay, yeah. Chibuzor Okereke, thank you so much for joining us this evening. Well, that's it for this edition of Arise Primetime. Do join us again tomorrow. From me and the entire team here in Abuja, it's goodbye and thank you for watching.